Learn English through Stories U17 Answers PDF. Adapted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents. Vocabulary. 7 tests. Answers. A correct the wrong usage of words to do with written work in these sentences. 1. His PhD thesis was 90,000 words long and was on the history of U.S. place names. 2. Little Martha did her first composition in school today. It was called My Family. 3. We have to hand in a portfolio at the end of the course. It can consist of up to 5 different pieces of work. 4. The teacher gave us the title of this week's essay today. We have to write 1,000 words on the topic of If I Ruled the World and hand it in next Monday. 5. At the end of this course, you have to do a 5,000-word assignment which will be assessed, and the grade will contribute to your final degree. 6. I think I'll do a study of people's personal banking habits for my MSc dissertation. It has to be about 12,000 words. 7. I've chosen to do the project instead of the 2 exams, because I like to do one single piece of work where I can research something that interests me personally. B. Rewrite this text using words given below. When I'm studying intensively because I'm cramming for an exam, I don't see any point in looking up past papers, nor is there any point in just learning things by heart. I know some people develop very clever mnemonics to help them remember the material, but there's no real substitute for revising the terms work. It's a good idea to have some sort of mind map to organize your thoughts, and rote learning is useful, but in a limited way. At the end of the day, you just have to bury yourself in your books until you feel you know the subject inside out. Censorship. C. Put each of the following words or phrases in its correct place below. The amount of offensive material we are exposed to in films nowadays is surely excessive. Most people accept that scenes of sex and violence are sometimes necessary to tell a story, but all too often these scenes are gratuitous, they are unnecessary, and simply inserted in the film to appeal to the baser human instincts. Censorship is necessary, especially to protect children from the corrupting influence of such scenes, often masquerading as art, in our cinemas. There should also be censorship of pornographic magazines produced by unscrupulous people willing to cater to the perverted tastes of a small minority. Such material destroys the innocence of the young and degrades all who read it. On the other hand, there are those who say that something which is banned becomes desirable, so censorship is counterproductive, and that censorship infringes on our freedom of choice. However, freedom is not merely freedom to do what we want, but freedom from attempts to destroy society's moral standards. Censorship provides the safeguards by which society protects itself. Love. D. Put each of the following words in its correct place below. Youngsters in their teens or even earlier sometimes idolize film stars or other celebrities with a kind of blind, devoted hero worship. The objects of such adoration are regarded as gods by their smitten worshippers. How sad that such devotion is almost always unrequited, though pop stars have been known to marry their fans. Young people also sometimes develop an irrational obsession for another, often older, person, which is not an adult, mature feeling, but simply a youthful infatuation. At parties, a boy may playfully try to attract a girl or vice versa, without intending any serious, lasting relationship. This is just a flirtation. A relationship which gives deep and lasting happiness to both partners must not be one-sided, felt more strongly by one of the pair than by the other. It should be based on a mutual love and respect, felt equally by each of the two. Of course, it can take many forms. It might be very deep but entail no physical desire, in which case it is described as platonic. Certainly, for any relationship to be stable, the 2 people involved must be compatible. They must get on well together. This does not necessarily mean that they must have attitudes and interests in common, for partnerships of opposites can work very well. The different characters of the 2 people somehow complement each other. Go. E. Complete the text below using the correct particles for the phrasal verbs. I was going through some old letters the other day when I found one from my friend Nancy. After high school, she had gone off to train as a doctor and ended up in Africa. She had to go through years of very hard study before she qualified. Life in Africa was not as comfortable as it was in our hometown, and there were many things she had to go without which the rest of us think of as necessities in our daily lives. But despite all the hardships, she went on working and helping people less fortunate than herself. I admire her so much. I wondered how I might go about making contact with her again, as I have no idea where she is living now. F. Rewrite these sentences using phrasal verbs with go so that they keep the same meaning. 1. I'm thinking of competing in the New York Marathon next year. I'm thinking of going in for the New York Marathon next year. 2. There were some difficult times in my father's life. My father went through some difficult times in his life. Or, I had to go through some difficult times in his life. 3. Unemployment and high crime levels often exist side by side. Unemployment and high crime levels often go together. 4. He decided to undergo the operation even though there were risks. He decided to go through with the operation even though there were risks. 5. I refused to support their decision to close the youth club. I refused to go along with their decision to close the youth club. 6. I didn't realize how late it was and I didn't stop studying till after midnight. I didn't realize how late it was and I went on studying till after midnight. 7. We had to survive with no hot water for 24 hours while they were repairing the pipes. We had to go without hot water for 24 hours while they were repairing the pipes. 8. Do you think I should try the advanced level exam? It might be too difficult. Do you think I should go in for the advanced level exam? It might be too difficult. 9. She just left without saying goodbye. I wonder if I offended her. She just went off without saying goodbye. I wonder if I offended her. 10. What was happening in the staff room at lunchtime? I heard someone shouting. What was going on in the staff room at lunchtime? I heard someone shouting. G. For these sentences, choose the correct option. 1. We had to throw the fish away as it had gone off. B. The fish had become bad because we kept it too long. 2. I wish you wouldn't go on about your problems all the time. I have problems too, you know. C. I wish you wouldn't talk constantly. 3. She's been going about telling everyone, I want to marry her. C. She has told everyone. 4. Ask her to dance with you. Go on. C. Do it now, don't hesitate.